so there's a web URL called KEDA.sh, Kubernetes Event-driven Autoscaler, which is a advanced autoscaling solution. And it's able to do things like take arbitrary metrics, which could be Prometheus operator type stack metrics or anything from a cloud service provider, and convert them to a format that horizontal pod autoscalers can interface with. And one of the options they have is a cron scheduler. And I'm going to share my screen briefly just to elaborate on a nuance that's a little bit easier to pick up on with some context. So a lot of people probably are super familiar with YAML, but just in case, I want to point this out. And this is something that KEDA does a great job on, although the default horizontal pod autoscaler also has this just to a lesser degree. But these little minus sign tick marks are like elements of a YAML array list. So you can, whenever you see these, you know that it's a list of things and you can add them together. And you can have multiple triggers. And the way that KEDA works is it'll take the lesser computed value. So you could have a second YAML list entry that would have a trigger based on whatever you would normally scale your metrics on, which could be like resource utilization driven or request driven or something like that. But you could also have the cron trigger, and you can have it where at one time of the day, the cron trigger says, hey, let me pre-scale up to 0. And at another time of the day, let me pre-scale up to 20. And then you can have like pre-scheduled, like if you have a predictable load that happens every midnight hour or whatever, you can pre-scale in advance of that predictable load. And you will still have the ability to add dynamic scaling on top of the pre-scaling, and it'll just take the lesser of the two values. And then outside of that, you can scale it back to 0 replicas as like a baseline, but then you can still have dynamic scaling by just having like another list element.